Hello. How are you? I'm Nigel, and I bake for a living, but I also have been trying to set up this YouTube channel to share my unique experiences with you. Having said that, I'm sure all of you know that this looking into a cabinet was really a bit of a setup because I don't have one of those fancy lavalier mics that most professional vloggers do. And I read somewhere that putting it into a cabinet actually magnifies and sort of contains the sound on the internal microphone of the camera. So here I am. During the stay-at-home period, and I'm sure all of us are in lockdown, we're looking for, well, purposeful things to do. And there's nothing that brings me so much joy as a few things. Three things in particular. One, writing with a fountain pen, just writing. Somehow or other, it focuses me. It's really therapeutic for me. Baking does the same thing. Cooking does the same thing. So these three things I want to share with you now on Nigel's Joy. And so today, I want to share with you this little recipe I found called the citrus yogurt cake. Actually, it started life as a lemon yogurt cake, but as usual, I can't leave well enough alone, so I added an orange to it. I like that combination of lemon and orange. But the other thing about this cake I found was that it's actually really, really simple. It doesn't need any special equipment. It doesn't need any special ingredients. I actually limited myself to a couple of big bowls, a wooden spoon, and I used a rice cooker pot to actually bake this thing. And it came out beautifully. It was moist, it was citrusy, lemony. It had that sort of lemon zing to it, but it had that orange fragrance. I loved it. Anyway, I hope you'll come with me on my journey, and I hope together we'll find our joy. I like to write out the recipe first. It helps me understand what I need to do, what I need to get, and it makes the process a lot smoother. Not to mention which, writing is one of the things that brings me joy. So here it is. Here's a picture of the golden wonder that you will actually get at the end. I used Greek yogurt, by the way. If you don't have a grater, do what I'm doing. Use a cucumber peeler. But if you do, please, by all means, use it. The next thing you do is chop up all that zest and get it as finely as possible. Meditate while you do this, because if you don't have a microplane grater, it's going to take a while. But having said that, you can get it as fine as this, and you'll be good to go. Word to the wise, always clean as you go along. I'm really bad at this. Now, this next step, really easy. All your liquid ingredients with the sugars that you separated goes into this bowl. Your zest, your vanilla essence, your eggs, just chuck them in with your salt. You don't want your half cup of sugar going in here. That's specifically for a citrus syrup that you will make at the end to pour on top. This yogurt goes in as well. Now, I managed to get this yogurt, which was labeled on the tub, and I kid you not, hard and thick edition. I'm only suspecting that it refers to the texture, I suppose. Hey, I got a giggle out of it, but then my humor is quite juvenile. So have at it. Just find some Greek yogurt to use. Here's the sugar, 1½ cups. Just 1½ cups for now. Measure out your dry ingredients. Now, you always measure out the ingredients before you sieve them, because after you sieve them, you actually get greater volume. What's happening when you sieve is you're actually incorporating air into the dry ingredients, which then translates into a lighter cake because you get more air into the cake. It's actually quite logical, really. Next thing, you want to measure out your baking powder. And watch how I dip and sweep That's actually the best way to measure dry ingredients. I didn't do it throughout this video, but this is actually the best way. It levels it out, it gets you the most accurate measurement as possible. I love this time-lapse camera. Now just chuck your dry ingredients into a big bowl, and what you want to do is to make a well. Once you make this well, that's where you're going to pour in your wet ingredients. Using a fork, just beat up your wet ingredients. Now sugar is treated as a wet ingredient because it melts really nicely. And I put the salt in here because it melts the salt a lot more evenly than if you were to put it into the flour. Put the wet ingredients into the dry and just give them all a good gentle stir. If you know the folding motion, do that. If you don't, just keep on going round in circles gently. Think happy thoughts. Now fat is the great tenderizer. So basically what you want to do is to put this in at the end. You can use oil, you can use butter, but use a good quality oil or good quality butter. And slowly and gently just stir it in. Then after that you'll see that you have a really nice batter. It becomes really smooth and glossy. I used to have this really hilarious cooking teacher who said, drizzle in your oil like a chicken peeing. Now, I've never actually seen a chicken peeing, but this is the result you get when you pour in the oil slowly. It really looks lovely. And by the way, that bowl is made for licking after you've poured in your batter into the cake tin. So here's my rice cooker cake tin pot. Make sure you grease and flour it. It ensures that the cake comes out easily, and it's just the worst feeling when the cake is stuck to the tin. You don't want that to happen to you. Always preheat your oven to the desired temperature, and in this case it's 180 degrees Celsius. Some ovens run hotter, some ovens run cooler. But having said that, you want to bake this for about 50 minutes. Then do a little bit of cleanup, wipe up, and you'll have a lot less work when all this is done. Using a small pot, you want to cut up your fruit and juice them into the pot, up to about a half cup of juice. So as I've told you, I love the flavors of oranges and lemons mixed together. Always reminds me of that nursery rhyme. Oranges and lemons, the bells of St. Clement's. In any case, if you're watching me here, basically what I'm doing is I'm using a fork in lieu of those fancy schmancy juices that you have. You know, the ones, the wooden ones, the porcelain ones. I don't have that. I'm limiting myself with equipment, and so I've used this fork, and it works just as well to get those little pips of fruit sacs to give up their juice. Here we've got the half cup of sugar, which we're adding to the pot, and using the fork as well, I'm going to strain out the little seeds that come with the oranges and the lemons. Using a medium heat, just simmer this until all the sugar dissolves and let it run for a minute or two to thicken up the syrup. You want to cool the cake once it comes out of the oven for about 10 minutes before you pour the syrup on top. Then you want to cool it for another 10 minutes before you unmold it. Cut a slice of this fluffy, tangy, sweet wonder and eat it with vanilla ice cream. I can't imagine anything better. Thanks for watching, and remember, subscribe and like this video, and I'll have more for you very soon.